My name is Alina Gregorian, and I'm gonna be reading some poems. I'm not sure if this is working, but I'm gonna read from my first chapbook, Navigational Clouds. Atlas. Unlike the snowstorm in Arkansas, nothing seems wrong with my teeth. But the world is strange, and the brochure department is filled with pens. But what I really want to tell you about are these ferns, and how in Arkansas you never really admire something until it grows on your lawn. But back to the way you stand in the southwest corner of this state, and what 12 o'clock does to your complexion, which is to say, you are a fern, and my lawn is filled with ferns. Navigational Clouds. You wear a cravat on the most Indiana day. When you go outside, a person greets you, someone with JPEGs and a lot of external motivation. You ask this person if they have a folder in the revolution. This person shares stories about building houses in the sky, researching nouns in address books, forging through half-existing galaxies and those found under the radar of strong arguments. You ask this person if the weather is certain, if the rain is solitude, if they know how a citizen feels when placed in a hallway with no doors. Does this person feel like this too, you want to ask? But instead you say, bring me to the border, and this person takes you to a ship, gives you laughter, and paints molecules in your hair. Okay, so I think it's working. The state of Utah is shaped like a glove. You look down and see mud where the post office used to be. Your hat is made of hammers, but you are not afraid. You look to the east where the Advent calendar hangs. Just beside the mountain range, you hear a pack of wolves entering a deep sleep. This is where I was last year, you think, except last year never happened and tomorrow is a bowl of oranges. Now you have your glove back. You go up the stairs once again, counting 1, 2, 3, and 80, as you climb to the top of the building. You look up and the sky is filled with feathers. You look up and the merchant you met yesterday is baking pies. This is where the ship went too far west and fell from the world into the sea. You reach the zenith of the staircase. They told you Dave was looking for you. He wanted to help you button your coat. Okay. So one more from this chapbook. Everything is happening, which is kind of what I feel right now. Just the internet is happening. There's a computer in that tree, and suddenly everything is tangible. Like we stormed through Alaska with feelings on our side. Like we anteloped candles to produce paper. If everything is the way it could be, then nothing would get done around here. I asked for 12 pens for the table, and a sort of calm came over me, like I was in a boat sailing to another boat. You said something about complexity. You said something about ancient mariners toiling in dirt and grime. I knew about your April, but I didn't say why. So, the next set of poems I want to read are poems that I wrote in English and parts of Persian. So, my family's Armenian, but they grew up in Iran, and as a child, Armenian was my first language and I still am fluent in it, but I didn't notice how many Persian words had come into our vocabulary, and I found about 30 or 40 words, and I've incorporated them into my poems, and I don't translate them, but I kind of leave them there as a sound element, and they're not used in the way that they're supposed to be used. Like the word is carrot, it's just thrown in there as a verb even. So here we go. Home is a paperclip you bend for. The language I'm learning I've already known, like bottom John curtains and former vowels. I speak khob except when I didn't know. The language I'm learning has been on my tongue before, like shalvar when I'm hungry or favorite shirts worn to bed. The tut farangi you repeat to yourself while falling asleep. Take me to the conditional unknown. I'll kholase the books while waiting for you. Let's go home. The rice is ready. green chessboard with purple knights. If I eat enough lavashak, I will be made a queen in the forgotten forest, but there are no forests in Kahu Place. I speak in idioms so you will understand me. Everything is real next to the Torshi moon. That's what I told myself one Khotkar afternoon. We see ourselves in ourselves, and when we buy Havij, we see ourselves again. I look like everybody in my family because we all wear hats on the same holiday, and our hilltops are stolen and golden underneath the abacus sky. Talk to me in Parsley and Tambourines. April was the horse they gave me. They tried to give me khalvat, but I said no. I am a house with trees. I climb mountains when it's cold. Let's hatman the disaster of the typewriter. The sun keeps speaking masalan, and I need that. Where should we place your ship if your yani is on the ceiling? And when the yellow couch revolts, who will kalam us? We'll build fountains on your arm, a triangle inside your ship. One of the ways in which these poems are really exciting to me is that I'm not discovering that these words are Persian words until I actually view them in a Persian vocabulary book or language learning tool book, because I'm trying to learn it right now. So I feel like the process of me writing these poems involves me also learning the language, which feels really good. Wanting to feel laughter. Sailing a ship in space, playing with language. This is what it means to barbari. I'm reminded of Aram Saroyan's light. What beauty and fleeting joy in the world that we can't even Jafari movement. The charid is in the basics, but the basics aren't kif. To place a plant on a table, to wonder why the stars shake. This is an existence, a failing light in a movement of space. Aram Saroyan is Armenian, just like the hat on my head. When looking at the sky, I wonder, what is Alu? Do you like sheer? We walk in serenades and feel happiness warp into science. This is when commotion ends and light appears. When I say playing light, I mean dolphin. The dolphin is light like feathers are everywhere. You are in the ocean and the Rayhan is real. Wanting to feel sun, I turn towards it, shielding my eyebrows. We are happening constantly, and when we're not happening, we close our eyes and think sun. Something is Zereshk even when it's not. The sun is living in a parallel universe in my pocket, living in a parallel universe where we're trying to line up. We can't be Gilas to suggest the opposite of laughter is light. When I think of you, I think of record players. This is what happens to light afternoons next to Moe's, eating fresh roots. Aram Saroyan's light is an extended period over an ever-expansive sunset peeking through the blinds. Have you traveled a dozen oceans? Do you zaytun planets? When I think of light, I think of laughter, thinking of laughter, and saying light. Hello, sun. This is a very nice day for you, and for me, and for you too. Okay. This next one is called An Ood About the Way I Think About You. Trees on my socks, green rivers spiraling upward, the clear chorma reflecting even the similar day. This is the sunlight hour, the reason for books, the makeup of normal afternoons splotched with gray and havas. Take a boat, go to the edge of Hala, but nothing there will remind you of the echo of a neon afternoon. I too am spirally when I am awake, tired when I am dreaming. There are two clouds on top of each other. Let's Aslan to be like them. A triangle in two worlds. Talk to me in idioms. The parentheses depend on it. We need people wearing flannel, depending on each other for goats. Turning on the stove when everyone is home. The tatil on the table looking familiar. This coffee has been in my family for generations, just being coffee. Talk to me in vowels. The idioms depend on it. Talk to me in hulu waves, like it's a backpack, like it's a forest with almond leaves. Talk to me again, you know where the guitars are. They are in the sky, and the sky is very real. At the Persian store, say salam. So if you're just tuning in, these are poems that I've written with Persian words with the English, and I'm not really translating them. So this is the last one of that series. Fable the Abacus. On the other side of the mountain, there's a shoe seller. She formulates equations that Nana people together. We want to sell her bread, but she doesn't eat cheese, and there's an abundance. There isn't much to pass, except we can't be calm without the stars aligned in this synchronicity. And Palto, you have it. Now you know our fears. Bright shoes on an apple, tambourines swimming, corduroy pants laughing. And the last poem I'll read is, it's called Films Boasting of Tehran. Here we see streets lined with apricots, museums filled with measurements for sequined garments, patches through walls filled with wallpaper. Roses and dolphin-colored swirls fill the pages of the walls. There we see monuments of yesterday, carpentry and figurative speech reminding us of oud players marching down the boulevard. Take me back to the common square, where I once had a peach on a plate, where I once caught glimpse of you hoarding sheep into the grove, where it was summer, now winter is casting its glare, asking us to settle down. So those are my poems, and thank you for watching, but I think now it's a Q&A, so I think you just type in your questions if you have any, and then I answer them online on this video. So I was told that there might be a delay, so I'm just gonna wait. Okay, a question from Tony. So he asks, Alina, how do you choose what Persian words you use in your poems, and what do you say, and what you say in English? So I choose the Persian words based on. So I grew up speaking Armenian as my first language, and my parents and a lot of my family are from Iran. So I didn't notice how many of the words that I grew up speaking were actually Persian words and not Armenian words. So those are the words that I'm incorporating, the words that are like clearly Persian words that I just know very well, and I always thought they were Armenian. And then in terms of what words I use in English, how I think of it is I'm like writing a poem, but then instead of using certain words, I'm using Persian. Like instead of using the word in English, I'm just like interjecting a word in Persian, if that makes sense. So, oh, and it's also a Cash t-shirt that I'm wearing, like promised. Oh yeah, so if you just type in comments, but no pressure. So I think this has been really fun, and I've had a really good time reading my poems on the internet. Hi, Ida. Oh, cool. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm gonna sign off. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Sunday evening, Eastern Time. I hope everyone is well, and I will see you in one form or another again. Okay, goodbye.